Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well, and it's time for another tier list. We have been going over the top 10 songs according to Billboard magazine every year through the 2010s and tiering them out based on how much I enjoy them or how much I don't. So yeah, we are going to do that now for 2016. We are more than halfway through the decade so far, and pretty excited to get into the years that are more recent. I will say as a bit of a preview here, I did not remember 2016 as far as mainstream hits being this mid, but we're about to see. Let's not waste any more time, shall we? We have our first one here, and it is, lo and behold, the Chainsmokers with Closer. Yeah, this song sucks. It is very tacky, very bland. Halsey's vocals sound like they were recorded on like a computer microphone in a totally different studio with a totally different mix. It's pretty shoddily put together for something that is so commercially soulless, I will say that. And then on top of it, the thing that really kind of hit me about the song is that the drop with the super obnoxious synth line hit me almost in the same way as that track, in a much less goofy way. CBAT that everybody's been freaking out over recently because of the freaking Reddit thread. But the difference between this track and CBAT is that CBAT is actually kind of funny and a very playful track, and the creator of the song never intended for it to be like the soundtrack to a sexual experience. Meanwhile, Closer is literally like about sex, but the song is one of the least sexy mainstream singles of 2016. I'm going to put this very solidly in the E row and leave it at that. Okay, next we have the wonderful Can't Stop the Feeling with Justin Timberlake from the Trolls soundtrack. I don't really have strong feelings on this song. It's just a very generic piece of dance pop with Justin Timberlake's trademark, like little, kind of baby man boy voice vocals. The hook is kind of whatever. The instrumentation is super overproduced and, not all that flavorful. I would put it in the D row. It's tolerable. It's fine. It's incredibly boring, but I wouldn't call it one of the more offensive tracks that we're going to run into in this list. All right, next, we have another track from everyone's favorite duo, Chainsmokers, pop up again on the Billboard list at number 8 with Don't Let Me Down, featuring Daya. And yes, while historically I have been very harsh on the Chainsmokers music, and for good reason, a great deal of it sucks, I will say Don't Let Me Down is truly and honestly not one of their worst tracks. It's one of their better tracks. I actually think the drop on this cut is quite good. Daya's vocal performance is very sweet on the ears. The structure of the song, I think, goes over well. I moderately like this one. I moderately like this one. It's not amazing. It's not blowing my mind. Not saying I would go out of my way to listen to it, but if it did happen to be on, and I have heard the drop of this track numerous times, just like in passing, I would enjoy it. It's an enjoyable little experience when I happen to run into it, and I would say, it's nothing more, it's nothing less. It's just a very easygoing, sweet on the ears, catchy fusion of pop and EDM trends and aesthetics at that time in 2016, and I'll just leave it there. I would put it in the C row. I think it's decent. I think it's okay. I'm not hating too much on this particular Chainsmokers track. All right, next at number 7 we have one of the GOATs, vocally speaking. We have Miss Adele with Hello, the lead single from the album cycle she had going at that time. Adore myself 1,000 times. Yeah, I'm not hitting those notes as well. Hello, I think is fine. I think it's a fine Adele single. I like it quite a bit, but is it as crazy to me as like Rolling in the Deep or some shit like that? No, not necessarily. It is quite good though. There are spots that I wish like maybe picked up a little bit of momentum, but is the background instrumentation beautiful? Yes. Is the vocal performance solid? Yes. Are the lyrics and the general sentiment of the song, compelling enough? Yes. I do think this This is like a very good, strong, mainstream ballad. Certainly not, kind of the generic run-of-the-mill chord progression and very plain, uninspired instrumental presentation that, you get with sappy ballads like these when they do tend to climb the charts. Adele is one of those artists who, is a chart topper, and I feel like she actually brings the talent forward to justify the numbers and the attention that she gets. So Hello, I think is a very good, very respectable single. I would put it in the B row for sure. All right, next in the list we have quite an interesting one that I think a lot of people watching may remember. That is Desiigner's Panda, which is, I think, something that, people watching this video think, what is he going to do here? This could go either way. Like, obviously, it's kind of a novelty track. It's a track from an artist who, didn't really find a way to pull his career forward past this point. Despite all that discussion, I think Panda goes fucking hard. I think Panda's a great track. I think Panda's a fun track. Is it incredibly entertaining? Is it electrifying in its energy? Is it well produced? Does it have memorable bars and vocal lines and ad-libs and moments from front to back? Yes to all of those things. I think Panda is a very fun and a fire track. I still have fun listening to it today. Is it a little silly? Is it a little goofy? Is it a little novel? Yes, and yes, but I still think it's a good track and one of the more fun trap bangers of the 2010s. I would put this very solidly in the B row. I think this is a very fun song to listen to. I think this song goes hard. If you're not thinking too much about whatever the hell the substance is and some shit like that, which I don't think every song needs to be belabored in that way. It's a fun track to listen to. I mess with Panda. All right, following this we have 21 Pilots with Stressed Out. Oh yeah. Getting them back time. The good old days. This is not particularly an era of 21 Pilots that I care for all that much, and truth be told, coming back to listen to this track, I haven't really warmed up to it all that much. I just find the beats to sound like something off of, I don't know, like a cross between just like a mainstream pop album, but then also a children's album. The vocals, I think, have a very infantile quality about them too, and the rapping has like this weird kind of Macklemore flow going on that I don't think is all that flattering. And while I do kind of get the song sentiment about, being stressed and being more stressed as you get older and kind of the responsibilities of life are bearing down on you, the response to that seems to be less to question the world that we live in and pull that apart and dissect that in some kind of way and maybe aim for something better. And the answer that 21 Pilots offer instead is like, let's just live in some kind of weird fucking Peter Pan syndrome where we're just like hoping that we can go back to the good old days and just like be kids forever. And that's just weird to me. It's just weird. And that's what makes Stressed Out a kind of weird and awkward track to me that I don't really care for all that much. Not the most offensive track that you will hear in this batch lyrically, conceptually, or aesthetically, but certainly an annoying and kind of unlikable song, at least for me. I would put it in the D row right next to our friend Justin Timberlake. All right, this next one I may get some hot water over. It is a fan favorite for a lot of people. We have Work, Rihanna featuring Drake. This track I think has some very good vocal lines from Rihanna. I think obviously the Work refrains are pretty catchy. Drake on the back end is okay. Really for me, this track is a decent vibe. Does this track feature some of her best songwriting? No. One of her strongest hooks? No. But is it a catchy, groovy, danceable, little hypnotic moment that production-wise, song structure-wise is kind of one-dimensional, a little repetitive from front to back? Yes and yes and yes. I just think it's okay. I think it's a little overrated as a Rihanna single overall. It's likable when it's on, but it's not something I'm like, dying to hear again when it's off. I would put it in the C row. Following this, we have Drake with One Dance. I solely lay at Drake's feet and this song, pretty much the responsibility of the trend that we saw past this point where we were just hearing everybody and their goddamn mom come out with these atmospheric, light on the ears, super gentrified dance hall songs. And yeah, I just feel like One Dance is a super commercial, neutered, boring, lifeless interpretation of dancehall music for an audience of people that don't really care about, you know, the core aesthetics of the genre. Anything that makes the genre interesting is kind of ripped out entirely in favor of just this very bland atmospheric presentation of blah. I just think it's boring. I think it's soulless. I think it's uninspired. And it still kind of blows me away to this day just how much of a ripple effect this song made. But, you know, whatever. It did. This is also going to be like a point of discussion with the next track that we're going to have on here. If I was being bitter and decided to hold against it everything that it inspired, I would put it in the F row, but I'm going to put it in the D row because as a standalone experience, I guess it doesn't drive me insane to hear it. And also we have Justin Bieber with Sorry, who, yes, on this track too, attempted to just make a very bland, uninspired freaking dancehall track, like a bit of a tropical house thing as well. Yeah, it's boring, it's toothless, it's not exciting. It sounds like a very watered down margarita. And I pretty much am not interested in what it has to offer at all. I would put it in the E section because I'm just unhappy with how just uninteresting these tracks were and that it was just like following a trend at the end of the day. With that being said, we also do have Justin Bieber with Love Yourself, which landed at number 1 on the Billboard top 10 list for singles of that year. And I actually do like Love Yourself quite a bit. I think it's a good song. I think it's a good stripped back little guitar ballad with some clever lyrics here and there. You know, I would attribute a lot of that though to Benny Blanco and Ed Sheeran, who, you know, kind of originally put a lot of the bones of the track together, and then, you know, they sort of worked with Bieber on it. I think it's witty. I think it's playful. I think it's, you know, got something there as far as its storytelling. I think the vocal melodies are very gentle but still catchy. I would put this in the B row as well. This one is quite good, you know, not revolutionary, and maybe there's some aspects that could have brought a little bit more life to it if maybe Justin and company got a bit more ambitious with what they decided to deliver as far as the final product. But I still think it's a very good song and, you know, solid recording overall. And yeah, that is essentially my tier list for the top 10 singles per Billboard Music. Let me know what you think of these tracks. Love them, hate them, feel somewhere in between. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm sure you will. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, 2016, forever. Funny outside.